Yo, what's good YouTube? Zam Crow here, aka Scoop, back with the International Draft Masters Season 3, and we're in week number 9. And we're taking on the Swindon Swifts. He's somebody I recruited from the World Showdown Series, pretty solid battler. So I've recruited him to the International Draft Masters. And I'm pretty sure he started off the season with a big win, but he hasn't done all that well since then. Albeit he does have a very tough schedule, facing off against, he's faced off against some of the higher ranked teams, and he faced the two top ranked teams back to back in weeks 4 and 5, so he's had a tough road. But he's coming off a big win versus the Miami Heat the Miami Heat Wave, coached by the Confusion, who was a solid contender for playoffs in Season 1 and Season 2. So I know he's a solid battler, and he has a pretty scary team, as you see on screen. At the bottom of the screen, he has Megalodios, Ferrothorn, Suicune, Florges, Alolan Muck, Arcanine, Gligar, Nidoking, Rabombi, Dragonite, and Bisharp, where his Z move users are the Dragonite and the Bisharp. Our team hasn't changed since the draft edits right after the draft. We have Zealanders, Therian, Zeraora, Komao, Necrozma, Scizor, Primarina, Incineroar, Decidueye, Glaceon, Mega Diancie, Tauros, Garbodor, where our Z move users are, like I mentioned, Landers, Therian, and then the last two being Incineroar and Glaceon. So this week we've decided to bring Landers, Therian, Zeraora, Komao, Necrozma, Primarina, and Mega Diancie. Reason being is because he has no, okay, if you look at a squad, his grass type is not a ground resist, and then he's got 3 Pokemon that are in the air: Megalodios, Gligar, and the Dragonite. So we have a Swords Dancing, Supersonic Sky Strike, Fly, Landers, Therian with Earthquake and Defog. We have enough speed to always outpace a non-Choice Scarf Nidoking. And then we've got quite a bit of attack investment, but we've got a lot of HP investment too. We'll talk about it in a second. But the idea was he doesn't have a ground resist outside of his immunities, and Rabombi, which is going to get blown back by a +2 Earthquake anyway, and a +1/+2 Fly or Supersonic Sky Strike. Anyways, the idea is to use this thing to break through his team, like things like Suicune, Ferrothorn, Alolan Muck, Arcanine, Gligar, and let Zeraora and Mega Diancie put in the work. Yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the specific individual sets and talk about that for a minute. So Landers, like I was saying, it's just a really solid breaker versus his squad. Earthquake and Fly, hits his team at least neutrally. And then I got the Defog there because he does have potential for Sticky Webs, Stealth Rock, Toxic Spikes, so on and so forth. Don't want that to be an issue, and we're not bringing Scizor, so we're going to pack Defog on something. So hopefully with the combination of Magic Bounce and Defog on Mega Diancie and Landers Therian respectively, he doesn't get Webs up, he doesn't get Toxic Spikes up, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's going to be it for Landers, and we can move on to Zeraora. Zeraora is going to be a Life Orb 4 attack set with an Adamant Nature and a little bit of special attack investment. We were afforded to run just enough speed to outpace the Rabombi. I'm not sure if he's going to bring it, but there is potential for it, so I do want to be able to outpace that if he does bring it. Adamant Life Orb Plasma Fist is just doing a fuck ton to this dude's team. Being able to run just a little special attack investment allows me to, if he's not max HP, max Spadef Gligar, I always 2-hit KO it with Ice, Hidden Power Ice and my Life Orb. Plasma Fist is really nice for Suicune, Florges, Alolan Muck, Arcanine, Rabombi, even Dragonite and Bisharp. But the knockoff hits the Megalodios. It gets rid of Rabombi's item. It can knock off Nidoking before I have to hit the Hidden Power Ice. And the Fire Punch is there for the Ferrothorn specifically. So yeah, being able to outpace everything on his squad, bar Choice Scarf users and like Dragonite, so on and so forth. is really, really nice, and that's the big issue here. As long as I can keep webs off the field with Lander's Therian and Mega Diancie respectively, then Zeraora shouldn't have too many issues. I do have another tech you'll see later to where I could potentially use some speed control on his side of the field, but he does have 3 Pokemon that are flying or immune to the touching the ground, so they're not going to be affected by potential sticky webs on my opponent's side of the field. Anyways, that's going to be it for Zeraora, and we can move on to Como-O. Alright, so what Como-O gives us is not only a designated Stealth Rocker, but a super solid switch in to Bisharp and the Ferrothorn, respectively. Bisharp's a huge threat, and I can take Knockoff, I can take Iron Head, I can even take a +2 Sucker Punch or +2 Iron Head or Knockoff, and always Oko with Drain Punch, unless he's like Chople or Focus Sash, obviously. And it gets me a lot of health back too. Dragon Claw hits the Mega Latios. Drain Punch hits the Ferrothorn, Suicune, Alolan Mug, Arcanine. Dragon Claw hits the Gligar, hits the Nidoking. Iron Head hits the Rabombi and the Florges. And Dragonite is hit by the Dragon Claw, and obviously, like I mentioned, Bisharp is OHKO'd by Drain Punch. So, yeah, this thing can set up Stealth Rocks, can take hits, can also take hits from Arcanine and Gligar pretty well, and if I have to, like Nidoking too, just because of, like, natural bulk. This thing's actually pretty fat. It has a base 105 special defense, base 125 defense, and base 75 HP, so that's pretty cool. And it has the bulletproof ability, hence the name Ricochet. So yeah, it's going to be it for Como-O, and we can move on to Necrozma. Alright, so we've got Necrozma here, which is going to be another Pokemon sort of like Lander's Therian, where its role is not really to win the game or anything like that, but to open up hoes for the rest of my squad. I have Swords Dance, Knockoff, Earthquake, and Heat Wave. What this set allows me to do at max HP, nearly max SPDF, and a little bit of defense investment, it allows me to take hits from Mega Latios, Suicune, Florges, Arcanine, Gligar, Nidoking specifically. This is my designated switch into Nidoking. I can always take one hit and then scare it out with Photon Geyser or even Earthquake. And we've got the Earthquake there, hits the Bisharp, hits the Alolan Muck, which is really nice, and the Heat Wave hits the Ferrothorn. So basically, the idea is this thing supports Mega Diancie more than anything does, and Landers supports the Zeraora more than anything does. You're breaking down things like Ferrothorn and Gligar for Zeraora, where Necrozma breaks down Ferrothorn, Alolan Mug, Arcanine, Gligar for Mega Diancie. So yeah, that's really, really nice. Being able to click Heat Wave and remove Ferrothorn from the game, or potentially pop an Aqua Berry so that my Hidden Power Fire on Mega Diancie or my Fire Punch on Zeraora will just straight up OHKO it, so on and so forth. And I didn't have a move slot for Photon Geyser. I felt if I brought Photon Geyser, I didn't have a way to hit the Mega Latios, and if I didn't bring Knockoff, Earthquake, and Heat Wave, I couldn't hit Ferrothorn, the Gligar, and the Alolan Muck specifically. So yeah, that's going to be that, and we can move on to Primarina, which is going to be a pretty cool set. Alright, so with Primarina, we have Scald, Moonblast, Hidden Power Fire, and the Magic Coat. We're max HP, max defense nearly, with just a little bit of special attack and special defense investment. We have the Rindo Berry and the Torrent ability. So, what on his squad can we just straight up bop? Mega Latios is bopped by Moonblast. Ferrothorn bopped by Hidden Power Fire. The Arcanine and the Gligar and the Nidoking, respectively, are all bopped by Scald. And then the Dragonite is bopped by the Moonblast, and Bisharp is bopped by the Hidden Power Fire. So we got some nice coverage here, and Scald can potentially burn things like Alolan Muck, can burn the Suicune potentially. So we have Magic Coat, and what Magic Coat allows us to do, for example, if we're matched up versus Ferrothorn, and we have a Rindo Berry intact, we don't mind to take a Power Whip, and we could click Magic Coat in case he expects us to switch, and he tries to get up Stealth Rocks or Spikes or something like that, and we can send them back to his side of the field. And with Rindo Berry and the Hidden Power Fire, we can always stay in on Pharaoh Thorn to try to bop it with the Hidden Power Fire to open up holes for Zero Aura and Mega 90 respectively. With our Rindo Berry, we always live one hit. We may live 2 hits depending on his investment. If he's like not invested at all, or max defense, max HP, we might be able to avoid being 2-hit KO thanks to the Rindo Berry. Hopefully we don't get that thing knocked off though. And if we're weakened enough for torrent boosted Scald, it's doing a fuck ton to things like Florges, Alolan Mug, Arcanine, Gligar, Nidoking, Rabombi, Dragonite, and Bisharp. So it's really nice. But yeah, that's going to be it, and we can move on to our last Pokemon for this team builder. Alright, so Mega 90 is going to be a max speed, max special attack variant with Moonblast, Diamond Storm, Earth Power, and Hidden Power Fire. So the reason being for max speed is to potentially speed tie with a Mega Latios if he brings it. It could be a huge threat. We'd at least like to speed tie with it. We're running a minus Spadef nature because Bisharp, Dragonite, Nidoking, Arcanine, and Alolan Muck all get some type of physical offensive priority. So we want to avoid being weakened on the defensive side, and we needed a little bit of we didn't need a minus attack nature because we are rocking the Diamond Storm so that we can bop things like Florges. Like if Florges is specially defensive, it can take Moonblast, Earth Power, Hidden Power Fire for days. Diamond Storm gives us a chance to 2-hit KO us. Gives us a chance to 2-hit KO it, the Florges. Earth Power is there for the Alolan Muck and the Arcanine. If I don't have to risk Diamond Storm missing, I can just click Earth Power to knock out the Arcanine. Hidden Power Fire is only there for the Ferrothorn. And then Moonblast is just bopping most of his squad. So that's really nice. And that's going to be it. We can hop into the replay and we'll be right back. Okay, so here we are with the replay. And my opponent chooses to bring the Alolan Muck, Mega Latios, Nidoking, Rabombi, Ferrothorn, and the Arcanine. So we don't see no Gligar, no Suicune, no Florges actually, no Gligar, no Bisharp, no Dragonite. So that's pretty nice. I did really expect Sticky Webs Rabombi with like Dragonite, Bisharp, Nidoking, Mega Latios, and like Suicune or something like that. Something very problematic and annoying to deal with. But thankfully, we don't see Bisharp or Dragonite, 2 huge threats. We know he doesn't have a Z-move user on the squad because he didn't bring either of those 2 Pokemon. His potential Stealth Rock users are Ferrothorn and Nidoking, both of which could carry Spikes and Toxic Spikes respectively. And then Rabombi could potentially have Sticky Webs. So I felt like my best lead was Primarina because I could lead off versus Arcanine and bop it with Scald. I could lead off with Ferrothorn and potentially get a Magic Coat off and get some hazards up and potentially pop an Occaberry with Hidden Power Fire. Versus Rabombi, I could just click Magic Coat and throw back some Sticky Webs. If he leads off with Nidoking, I can just click Scald. And Mega Latios, I can just click Moonblast. And then if he leads off with the Alolan Muck, we can decide what we want to do. Either throw off a Scald and hope for a burn, or hard switch into Landorus Therian. Just depends. But I think Primarina is their best lead. Our potential Stealth Rockers are Landorus Therian, Como-O, and Necrozma. So he doesn't have really anything that just threatens all 3 of those immediately. So he does lead off with a potential web setter. So what we're just going to do here is throw off our Magic Coat turn 1, and we're going to get Sticky Webs up on his side of the field, and then he's going to turn around and get Sticky Webs up on our side of the field as well. But here we go for the Scald, and we just miss out on a 2-hit KO before the Quiver Dance. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. We're able to knock him out after taking a huge chunk from Moonblast. His Moonblast did a hell of a lot. But here he goes into his Mega Latios, and I'm thinking he must have Psyshock, because normally if I was max HP, max Spadef, you wouldn't bring in a Latios to click Psychic. And based on the damage that you've done so far, you would think I'm very, very, very bulky. So it seems that he's going to go for Psyshock here. Unknowingly to him, though, I am max HP, max defense, so this Psyshock isn't actually going to be able to knock me out. and we're going to get some very, very nice damage off versus the Megalodios here. And Primarina doesn't put in as much work damage-wise, but it got rid of the Rabambi. It set up webs on his side of the field, so that now webs are basically neutralized outside of his Megalodios, which could be problematic. And I still have clear body on Diancie, so that my speed won't be lowered from webs. So it's not that big of an issue at this point, and we could potentially defog later if we feel the need to. But at this point, we're in a pretty okay position. It would have been nice though had he led with Ferrothorn or something else, and I got some, chip on it. But yeah, here's the position we're at, and we can go into Necrozma here. Reason being is because Zeraora would not outpace after sticky web damage. Como-O gets knocked out, gets one-shotted after coming in and trying to. I will be slower than the Megalodios no matter what, but yeah, it will one-shot me. If he goes for like Dragon Pulse or Draco. If he goes for Psyshock, I might live that with Como-O, but it's not really worth it at this point in the match. I think going into Necrozma and setting up a Swords Dance is my best play because I can live any one hit, and if he goes hard into Muck, I will be at +2 and can just click Earthquake, and the same thing for Arcanine if he goes into it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and go for that hard Swords Dance as he goes into his Arcanine and lowers our attack by 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch out into Landorus Therian, and he goes for the Flare Blitz, and he reveals to be super offensive, and he gets the burn, which is super duper unfortunate. But we are going to be able to defog these webs away. So yeah, Landorus not being able to do much here. We are going to Swords Dance up to negate the burn damage here and then throw off a Z move, but he reveals to have Protect. Not a bad bring on his part at all. He does get his rocks up though, unfortunately, and we do defog those away on the turn that he attacks, so that's really nice. And we go hard into Como-O here as we can get up our own stealth rocks, which is really nice. And then double, well, not really double, but hard switch out into Necrozma, and we can just Swords Dance once more as he goes hard into his Ferrothorn. And the reason I think he goes into his Ferrothorn is because we revealed Swords Dance. Now he probably thinks we are Photon Geyser, Knockoff, and Earthquake. That makes sense, but we opted to bypass Photon Geyser for Heat Wave, and if he's not Occaberry, it should knock him out, and he reveals no Occaberry, so we do knock him out there, and now he goes into the Arcanine and gets the Intimidate off. We can just click Earthquake, or we can hard switch out into our Como-O, which is the better play. As much damage as he did to Landorus at -1, it's best case scenario, or best play for us to just go into Como-O and not risk Necrozma dying just yet, because it can still switch in versus Nidoking, and it can still break his team overall. Really, it really can. But yeah, we remove Alola Muck from the game with Como-O. Drain Punch does just enough and gives us enough health back to where we're basically at full. And he brings in Nidoking here and goes for the Ice Beam as we Dragon Claw. He's going to be able to 2-hit KO us, and we're not going to do much to him at all. But we are in a position to bring in Mega Diancie here and knock him out with the Earth Power. And now, as long as we can outpace the Mega, or even if he outpaces us, he can't knock us out with one hit. We're able to knock out the Megalodios, and now all he has left is the Arcanine, and we don't need to risk Diamond Storm here. We can just click the Earth Power and knock out the Arcanine and pick up a nice 3-0 victory here in week number 9. Puts us at 5-4 with a +11 differential, which is really solid for us going into the last 2 games. Hopefully we can keep this winning streak up. Well, not really. Well, I guess it is kind of a streak now. We've won 2 in a row, and yeah, we'll be facing off against, I think, Miami and Albany to finish off the season. Let me double check that. Yeah, that's going to be correct. Face Miami in week 10, face Albany in week 11, and hopefully we can make the playoffs. Playoffs are pretty tight right now. I think only 2 coaches have clinched, and it's week 9. And yeah, that's going to be it. Good game to Sean. Good luck the rest of the season, my man. Let me know what you thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.